Today we're going to be showing you how to install the AdMore Lighting Universal Side Case LED Light Kit to the Yamaha FJR. Anytime you order from AdMore Lighting, you can expect a very clean, well put together package. When you open the box, you'll notice there are 3 separate bags inside. The first bag contains the Universal Side Case LED strips themselves. The second bag contains the side case harness set, and the third bag has the FJR plug-and-play adapter, which makes the wiring part of this installation super easy. AdMore also includes a little thank you note saying that our order was packed by Ryan, so thank you Ryan from AdMore Lighting. The bag with the side case harness set also contains this drill bit that you will need for this installation, these adhesive cable management cable mounts, which really come in handy, and Positap connectors, along with an information sheet on how to use them. We don't need to use them for this installation since we have the plug-and-play kit, but depending on what kind of bike you install these on, you may need Positap connectors. The side case harness set itself is made up of 3 cables, 2 of which are identical. This is one of the identical cables, and the side you're looking at right now plugs into the LED lights themselves, while the other side is routed through a hole from the inside of your case to the outside of your case. One end of the remaining cable has these bare wires that will be connected to the FJR plug-and-play adapter, while the other end splits into these 2 connectors. One will go to each side case. This cable also has a dip switch, which AdMore included a little cheat sheet to tell us all of the switches should be slid to the left. In our case, that was correct, but be sure to check that. The first step is to drill a hole in the back of your case using the provided drill bit. We decided to do this on the flat part of the back of the case in the farthest towards the rear and highest point of the case. So you see this little corner that we're drilling in, that's the best I could describe it. This is what we found to be the best because it stays out of the way of the tire and is just kind of tucked back behind the fender, so it's a pretty safe place for this. After we drilled the hole, we decided to sand it out a bit just to make it smooth. At this point, we realized that the walls of the FJR side case were just too thick to thread the connector from the inside of the case to the outside of the case and carry out the rest of the installation. So we needed to find a way to make the walls of the FJR case a little bit thinner. But we only needed it to be thin right around the area where the hole was so that that connector had a little bit more room to poke through the other side. So what we ended up doing is what you see us doing here. We used a 3/4 inch spade drill bit to kind of make a little indent right around that initial hole we drilled, and it worked out pretty well. We were able to make it a little bit more thin and then slide that connector from the inside of the case to the outside of the case as you see here. And on the other side, you slide on the rubber washer and then the plastic nut and you tighten it so it looks like this, and we can move on to the next step. Now we need to figure out where to drill the hole in order for the wires from the lights themselves to enter the case. To do this, we took a measuring tape from the handle of the FJR case and measured down 7 1/16 inch, and we made a little line right there. Then we measured about a 1/4 inch from the little bevel you see there and made another line. Then we drilled using a 3/16 inch or a 5mm drill bit. They're about the same, and we drilled a hole in order for those wires to enter the case. I also wanted to note that the shell of the FJR case is hollow, so you will need to drill through the outer shell, then the inner shell separately. So there are 2 surfaces that you need to drill through. At this point, we decided to clean the exterior of the FJR cases with some rubbing alcohol since we are going to be sticking the adhesive lights to the outside very shortly. But first, we need to feed the wires from the lights to the inside of the case. And to do that, we decided to tape the wires together using just some regular Scotch tape to make it easier to feed them through the holes. Remember, there are 2 holes you need to feed these wires through, the outside hole and the inside hole of the shell of the FJR case. It's a little tricky, it might take some time, but you'll get it. Now that the wires are through, you can go ahead and peel off the back of the adhesive on the back of the LED strips and stick them to the outside of your case however you see fit. We did our very best to center them vertically over that sort of bend in the case, but you can really do this however you prefer. You can now connect the lights to that other cable that we installed previously, and one thing to note about this is that you need to make sure the colors of the wires match up. As you see here, we have yellow on the top, red in the middle, and black on the bottom. These do matter, so make sure they line up. Once you've repeated all of those previous steps so that you have lights in both the right and left side case, we can move on to the wiring portion of the installation. The first thing you need to do for the wiring is connect the FJR plug-and-play adapter to the remaining cable in the side case harness set. To do this, you'll take the bare wire end of the FJR plug-and-play adapter and slide these wires into this sort of white junction. I'm not quite sure what the technical term is here, but you slide the wires in and then you clamp them down using these screws. You then take the remaining cable of the side case harness set that also has a bare wire end, and you'll connect those bare wires to the other end of this white adapter junction, whatever you want to call it, and you'll screw those in as well. You want to match these colors. Now, something we noticed was when we actually got through the installation, the lights weren't working in the running light mode, and AdMore does have this in the documentation that if that is not working, you will just switch the red and blue wires so that you have blue to red and red to blue, and that will fix this issue if you run into it. Now we can finally move to the bike to remove the left side panel. I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to do this. If you own an FJR, I'm sure you've done it about 1,000 times. So you remove that side panel, which will allow you to get access to the FJR wiring harness. So you're going to go ahead and unplug this, and then you can plug in the plug-and-play adapter from AdMore to these two plugs. Next, you kind of have to squeeze these wires into the center of the bike. The cable management stuff is really entirely up to you and how you go about it, but what you need to know is that there are these two connectors. One goes to each side bag. The one with the yellow tape on it goes to the left, and the one with the green goes to the right. How you get them to the side bags is entirely up to you, but what we ended up doing is routing it all the way towards the tail of the bike, and they have these holes cut in the plastic already for where the FJR side bags kind of connect to the bike. We were able to squeeze these connectors through those holes, so we didn't need to drill any extra holes or anything like that, and once we kind of poke them through the holes, you can connect these connectors to the side bags themselves, and that's how the lights get power. Make sure both side cases are connected, put the bike back together, and you're done. This installation's pretty easy, and that plug-and-play adapter makes things that much easier, and these lights look amazing. You can see the running lights here. When you apply the brakes, they flash very bright. You're very visible, especially when braking. Your turn signals are amber. You have your right, your left, and the hazards are also amber. These lights are incredible. The stock FJR just doesn't have quite enough light back there. You're not very visible, especially at night, and this is a great solution to that problem. So thank you to AdMore Lighting. We love these lights on the FJR, and thank you for everything you've done for the FJR community. We really appreciate it. If you want to pick up these lights for your FJR side bags or any other side bags on any other motorcycle for that matter, these are universal after all, I've left a link in the description to AdMore's website where you can purchase the universal side case light kit. AdMore also has tons of lighting solutions for top cases. They have light bars, tons of cool stuff over at admorelighting.com. I've left a link to their website in the description as well, so be sure to go check it out.